Good morning, everybody. Not much happening here at all. It's pretty dead. Um, Everybody's starting to get back, but you can see it's just flatlining here at resistance. So, as we all know, prices are a little extended and they've started consolidating a bit. Had this hiccup last week. And so the bars have started to expand, other than these last 2 days of doing nothing. Well, today's not just beginning. We'll see where that goes. Hopefully we'll get some meaningful movement. I'm not too optimistic about that, but we'll see what happens. Maybe we're just going to trade within the range of this big bar here. We've recouped that big nasty drop, which no one seemed to have a definitive reason as to why it happened, whether it was news, whether it was options, or whatever. Kind of got negated. You're not seeing any charts, Jim? I didn't post the charts. Hmm. Let's see. What did I do? Signal share. Maybe you need to refresh. All right. Okay, cool. Thank you. Um, yeah, so not much to talk about. Things aren't moving other than expecting at some point the possibility for the S&Ps to maybe make a new all-time high in this week. There is news coming. Um, Economic news, which has been a big focus. There's a couple of auctions today at 11:30. At 10:30, there's a Dallas Fed manufacturing index. Who knows what kind of an effect, but 11:30, there's three and a 6 month. At 1 o'clock, there's a 2 year. There's been some auctions that have gyrated the markets, and there's a 52 week at 1 o'clock as well. And then yeah, there's some news on Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and then Thursday's the big day. If it's going to do something, jobless claims. We'll see what happens with that. Um, Spiders. I mean, you can see where they're at. You're pretty tight toward yesterday's the day before's close. You can see right there the cursor. Um, just sideways chop going on there. Way. And SPX. It's too tight. It's too tight to do anything, in my opinion. I'm not going to do anything. Um, if the market should start to push up, possibly something above 4,800 could be doable. But for the premium is right now, I wouldn't suggest doing it. If we get some kind of a move, directional move, either up or down towards support or resistance, things get a little extended one way or another, but there's just nothing happening, as I already mentioned. Uh, Interest rates aren't doing anything either. You can see the bar right there. It's just nothing is not even budging. Um, the dollar, they haven't fixed the data yet. Looks like it's still inching a little bit lower here. Just looking at the day to day. Euro pretty much flat. There's a lot of people take off this week. And nothing moving here. How strong the dip buying may be? How any way to gauge how strong? Not really, Robert. I mean, how do you gauge something like that? Look, we know what's been happening this year. Well, especially over the last month. So, volume's going to be light. And when we look at the dip, so to speak, where it would dip to, um, If prices were to dip back down here, that would be a relatively large move in a day. So they'd probably bounce up from there, just being in a trading range. Oh, that you assume dip buying will occur? Probably so. Look, the trend is up unless some event happens, some surprise news, and the significant news, isn't until Thursday. Um, Probably isn't much is going to happen other than technical gyrations between support and resistance. So, um, looking at the futures at the moment, they're doing nothing. So, a dip all the way down here, I don't saying that's going to happen, but that would be where there's a significant low. There is a significant low. I've got an alert there, and they'd probably bounce up into the range and be a short-term trade at that time. If they take off from here and go up there, maybe they shoot for, all-time high. This continuous contract is right there at the all-time high. And just kind of eyeballing it, looks like it made a little peekaboo above there. Whereas SPX, it's not there yet. So it's got to get above 4,800. So pushing above that 4,800 or give or take, just looking at that line there, I don't know, a little bit above 4,800. It may reverse back down again. Since it is short term extended, so I wouldn't be getting too enthusiastic about anything right now. Just looking at our internals, they're at a point where they certainly things could turn down. Looking at the sentiment from the equity put call ratio, that's at an extreme. So, but again, until we get through the end of the year, most likely, um, the markets or traders just might be focused on this SPX, making a last ditch and making a new all-time high, and then we go from there. It's at some point where it's going to happen. We know a correction is coming, that's for sure. How the good thing is, and I mentioned this, I guess last week, is that look, you got your major support down here, right? The pivot low prior to a higher high, and it's made a nice momentum move. So as it corrects from there, it could pull back, 3 to 5% and not damage the uptrend. So when you say dip, hopefully, we get a dip the beginning of next year, toward here, which sets up a buying opportunity. We'll just see how that goes. NQ's doing nothing. I'll go to this continuous contract there. You can see the data here. So that here was a dip, got bought, hit resistance, starting to make a higher low, trading range beginning, 5-minute chart. If it can clear here, there might be a trade for it to go up a little bit. That moves up. Um, these futures that's a new all-time high right there on the NQ futures. But looking at the QQQ, it's right there. I'd have to put on a line close. I think just eyeballing it, I think on a close, it would be a new all-time high. I'm not sure. Anyway, do I have a line chart? Those are the Qs. You have to put on a, I don't know if I put on a weekly, I just stretch this over a little bit. So that looks like that's a new all-time high. So we need the S&P 500 to join the party. It's 5-year inching up a little bit, not a big deal. I mean, the interest rates are down near support. They're into the support area that we talked about the last month or so. So the thing to watch is to see if they begin to inch up and if the dollar begins to inch up and the markets begin to inch down. And we'll wait to see. Let me go to this one. So Dow futures inside bar near the high, just with back and forth here. I mean, same thing. Nothing's happening here. Um, the Russell cleared the top of the trading range, so but a greater than 100% retracement. Bottom of the range, top of the range, closes above the top of the range. Typically, momentum is going to stall. We'll see how that pulls back. So we'll keep an eye on the regional banks. Which so far, they're moved up. They moved into an uptrend. They cleared the prior pivot high. Um, you know, See if they buy the dip. It's got room to go up even before reaching minor resistance, which is again beyond what's directly to the left. But so there's really a void there. Could go up, but a pullback, some little minor pullback, nothing that would damage the chart. If this went down, let's say this went down this week, and it just came down into this area, which would be relatively insignificant, it could be a nice buying opportunity where this could then push higher. Now, before the holiday, we talked about all of this prior week, all of these large weekly bars, which historically results in slowing momentum. And that's exactly what we got. Bitcoin's down 1,000 here. Not a big deal. Ranger's big. It's just consolidating the gain. So nothing of real significance happening there. Dow we already looked at. It's got a wide range bar up there like everything else. Just sideways. It's the same pretty much wherever we look. Post-holiday trading, it's quiet. Not much going on. Oil's up a little bit. So we talked about before the holiday, if you look at OIH or XLE, the move down, that dip and the deep retracement, some of these retraced all the way up to resistance, so downside shakeouts. So energy stocks are finding some buyers, crude oil moving up. So, crude oil, should it get up here, it's going to stall, which kind of keeps the market from reacting significantly, meaning to the downside. So in 2024, one of the things we'll be, looking for is, does oil begin to move up? It's been an underperformer this year. Does the dollar begin to move up since that got pushed down? Does interest rates move up? And that scenario would lead to a correction, and we'll see how far that goes. Gold is shaping up on the weekly chart. Maybe GLD looks better than the futures. But this is basing here. You can see it's done nothing for a couple of years, pretty much, trading range, but dipping down and coming back up, more of a sloppy kind of a downside shakeout. And if this can maybe a little sideways price action, I think this could be ready to make new all-time highs, and gold might be something that is going to outperform this year. So we shall see, which kind of leads to, are we going to get some new inflation? We'll see. That wouldn't be a good thing. Silver going sideways in the same way, a little bit different. Gasoline, just this what I'm talking about, this downside shakeout down and back up again. So oil and oil stocks are making a bottom. We'll see if they can clear resistance. This is still in the downtrend, but the way this spiked down and spiked right back up again and now going sideways, historically, that pattern does result in a move up. So oil stocks are potentially going to be something that performs maybe this week or in the beginning of next year. Something we'll keep an eye on there as well. And that's it. Other than that, we'll just have to see what today might bring. So far, it's pretty darn quiet. Um, transports are got some room to move up, but they got that wide range more, but they got room to move up to the top of the range. There's a big discrepancy between these and the ETF, which is already to the top of the range. That's because it's got quite a few more stocks in it that are moving that the regular index doesn't have, but that's at the top of the range. So, to you, Dan, dollar base long above Friday high. Well, I'll give that over to Dan. He can take a look at that.
Good morning. Yeah, things very slow here, but we have a huge watch list. I don't have many alarms going off, but a couple. We'll take a look at those first. Devon here, I had an alarm go off. We mentioned oil, and this is a beautiful pattern over Friday's high. And look, see, my alarm was wherever. So this in the oil department looks really good. ALB. Yeah, I just said my alarm went off on that. Let's take a look. I was on Alex's list. He sent me consolidation. I think I had an alarm at 153. I always set my alarms early. But it's at this prior high. Let's see what it can do in the first 30 minutes. NT's alarm. That big old gap down on China news on Friday. And I had it over this 15-minute resistance area that we would sell a put, so it's good to go, provided we get the credit. Just looking at Mr. here. Mr. is gapping down with Bitcoin. So I just set a new alarm, 6:15. The only headline I saw for Bitcoin this morning on CNBC, they said, "Oh, it's getting close to getting that ETF," which has been what a lot of the talk was on the run up. And so I remember saying for the past few weeks, this could definitely be setting up the sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the news situation.
Did anybody see the news? Nancy Pelosi bought 5 million of NVIDIA calls.
No, but I saw her name and they said, "Oh, we'll come back to the story." And they said, "Yeah, the snippet was regardless of Congress trying to rein it in, she's still doing it." Well, I don't, that's not correct, Alex. I what I'm speculating, what Greg is saying, if we look under the hood, is she might have bought call options on whatever strike and whatever that the underlying could have totaled $5 million notional value. But no, I guarantee you with 99.99% accuracy, she did not spend $5 million on call options. That if so, she should just be locked up with no trial, inside information, whatever. All right. Raul asking about base, BASC, and yeah, it's a buy setup. Now, as a general rule, we don't like, buy setups after climos far from the 20. But it's controlled pullback, so just don't expect a new high. All right, yeah, well, I'll look at that. Let me right, but read the article, Greg. I'm speculating. Say 5 million worth of Nvidia of options. I don't know. Well, I'll read it later. But I'm pretty sure they're talking about notional value. Oh, it's past tense, Scott? Yeah, that's past tense. Then Greg's talking about current tense. All right, we'll talk about it later. I don't get sidetracked here. All right, but base looks fine. Yeah, up over the high. Buy setup. NTs I mentioned. Let's see what else I got in here. LI is a EV stock. That's a big gap. Nothing to do with the pattern. Look at NEO here, my middle chart, another EV stock. This was on my list on this day, on this gap breakout. We actually sold puts on it, I think. And now it's working on, this ugly, well, it is red barred Nord. So this, it's a sloppy bottoming pattern. But this could be a home run entry on possible core long. It's not crystal clear, but daily, weekly, monthly, believe it or not, are all in alignment for a possible long-term bottom. And then fundamental has to come later to support it. Oh, they're doing better, they're selling more, blah blah blah. And then it gets traction, and then it might go up to $25. So let's keep an eye on NEO. Let me type all these out, IG. Yeah, LRCX. Yeah, my alarm went off on LRCX this morning also. Yep, that's bullish consolidation. It's a semi, of course. This one, I don't see much volume pre-market, but yeah, it's an inverse head and shoulder. Breeze. I don't see what you're looking at. That's a mess to me. Made lower low, lower high. 5 and 30-minute high, possible put spread. NVIDIA, I don't see a great pattern there. I like your CDNS the best. D-Dog, that's strong, maybe 30-minute high. All right, LVS. That's the wrong stock. That was a typo, but LVS is actually a nice bottoming pattern. This is Las Vegas Sands. I meant to type in love, LUB. And the reason is I just heard it on the news saying they had more, they've seemed to become the bad boy of airlines lately with their delays and things. But I don't see anything there. McGraw's telling me here in chat that his newsletter writer wants to buy ENPH, and we were giving it to our subscribers on this gap reversal, which was the same as TAN. This day right here, we noticed all the solars popping. But we're in one beautiful bottoming pattern where you start with an M. Maxon. We gave this one Maxon on Friday, bottoming pattern, solar stock, looks good. All right, GPS, this Alex year list as a possible short, but wow, it's still moving up. So I'm going to delete it. I'll wait for you to monitor it for me. Amgen, I looked, Alex. I looked for put spread, no juice. But that's a nice 2-day move. And there's ALB we talked about. AAP we're already in, but looks fantastic. We're in that as a buy setup and a put spread. Deer, red bar ignored. Bullish 15, you had two kind of breakdown failures there. So over the high looks good. Yeah, Boeing, we have a call spread for this Friday already. And we also entered one, well, we had one for last week and put on a second one. Yeah, it's more of a call spread to me instead of an actual short, but tell me when you like it. All right, Sam, these are a couple on your list I like. Some X-ray 123 up to the 200. Wolf 123 to the 200. I got alarms on these. Getty, I posted already 123 to buy $5 call options over the high. BFW needs to go sideways more. Yandex, yeah, this thing. So what is going on with this? All right, this thing. Yeah, all right. It hasn't traded since 2022, but it was in the news today. Huh, with that symbol, I don't know what's going on. So I'm gonna ignore it. Roblox up alarm. Um, let's see. This was a new trade. Roblox over the high. FedEx alarms going off. That was a put spread. Let me write these down so I can monitor them at the open. FedEx, we had a put spread over 250, so that's why that alarm's going off. There's your Manu, Impy. It's sloppy. It's sloppy, but weekly, monthly are bottoming. It's a Chinese stock. I just don't feel like monitoring it. But if it can go sideways a couple days, Mindy McGraw gave me. Weekly, monthly is not bad on Mindy. So I will watch this one. It needs to shape up a little bit more on the daily, but there's a Neo. Now we talked about, I like Marvel. We're already in, and you can add Friday's high. APTV, we're in, but you can add Friday's high. Tango Whiskey. If it took out Thursday's low, then it looks like a short. Snap, I have as a call spread under Wednesday's low. This kind of, Alex, reminds me of Boeing. Up a lot. Kind of, it's going to make a top if it cracks. Hourly support. Hertz bottoming pattern. Hotel India. Why am I looking at you? It must have been imbalanced because there's nothing that I see on the chart. So I'm going to delete you. Bank C. This was Alex, I think. It's a sloppy buy setup, but I do like the weekly 123, and I like the W bottom on the monthly. So that's why I'll keep an eye on that. DIN I like. Now I've got some alarms going off. So DIN is already posted. So DIN looks good. Mindy. Yeah, we're in already, Marvel, but yeah, you can add to it. All right, JKS. I had an alarm go off. This is a 123. 35.25. Yeah, so it gapped over it. So let's just do that. And DIN was over 49.70. Bud up alarm. That's a breakout trade. And JKS. All right, DIN, let's do the high. 49.69. Oh, it's over 49.70. So I had an early alarm. So it's good as posted over. Oh, yeah. No, I had an early DIN alarm. So that's good to go over spot 70. All right, Bud. Bud is triggering deer. Alex, your list, I think. You are Sam. You two are brothers. So sometimes I mix your names up right in the back of the bus together. But I like the 15. Oh, Manu, bottom right here. I forgot about. Manu is, I think I read, selling 25% of their company. That's a gap breakout. That coin, we gotta watch. This coin is going to fall someday. That thing is so extended. Look at that. I'm gonna set an alarm at 170. Man, did you all remember I was talking about a core long over here? $80. Wow, my last up alarm on coin was 144. $30 ago. Man. All right, JKS hitting. JKS, yeah, JKS looks great. ACN, yeah, we're in this too. Yeah, I like that stuff, but for me, Alex, I kind of like the spot 88, kind of 12 cents under the even dollar. I'm busy this morning, but not as busy as many Mondays. And then also, Alex, we can front run you on your stop loss, get a better feel than you. New alarm, 6140. Our remix fine. Oh. Microsoft. Up alarm. Let's put spread idea. FedEx put spread triggered. Wow, nice pop there. What else? Roblex triggered. We bought stock 46.13. Or OIH. We have a put spread that's acting well. Yeah, I said over Friday's high would be a nice add there. 310.84. If so, MMSI, Wolf. Yeah, I like Wolf's on my list. We're at OI. Sure. Continuation breakout. YH 302. And NVIDIA, AMD are ripping in semis. Check out LRCX.